Hello everyone, how are you doing? So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to create an AI assistant that's going to act as your productivity coach. So what this AI agent is going to do is essentially convert your notes into actionable items, saving you a ton of time, and converting potentially notes that may be incoherent into actionable tasks that you can do the next day without having to look over your notes, trying to decode what you've written, and even finding the time to do that. So you might have some clients, for example, and you're doing a video call and you're writing notes about what you need to do for the client, maybe a bit about the client's background, different tasks that you need to do to follow up with the client. So this AI agent is going to make all that simple for you. You can write notes, make it as random as you want, or make it as unstructured as you want. And this AI agent is going to convert that into brief bullet points so that you can action it the next day or throughout the week or whenever you need to. So this is going to save you a ton of time and make you a lot more productive. And obviously, in business, increased productivity normally leads to increased revenue. So this is an example of a draft email that the AI agent created. So what I did is I inputted some meeting notes and then it converted it into nice brief key decisions that occurred in the meeting, action items. Let me move this out of the way. Action items, a timeline of a launch date, and it did this on its own, obviously, and it did this when I gave it the meeting notes to convert. So this is the end product, nice and easy. And you can obviously also get the AI agent. For example, let's say there's several participants in this meeting. You can get it to email each participant these meeting notes as well, making your life a ton easier because these things take time and this adds up throughout the week. It's another thing you've got to deal with. You've got to look through the notes, try and source it out. You might have forgotten a few things, and then you gotta let everyone know what they need to do, when it needs to be done. Very, very effective. Now let's get to building it. So we'll be using N8N as per usual. Very effective AI agent platform, makes it very easy to build things. I've explained how to set it up in previous videos, so you can use a free account, 30-day free trial. I've got the paid version, but in the free trial, you can do all the building. I also liken it to essentially like Lego pieces. So you don't need to know how to code necessarily. You just need to understand the workflow, put that piece together with that piece, and then you get a product in the end. So very, very easy to use. So in this example, I've used a trigger of this chat. So we can just input the data in here, the meeting notes into this chat bot, and then the AI agent is going to work and convert those notes. From then, we're using OpenAI to actually use the LLM to convert the meeting notes into actionable items, into obviously the timeline that you saw, and create a draft email. We've got simple memory, and then we got the create a draft Google Node. Okay, so this is the AI agent. Now, obviously, like I've said in previous videos, when I create these videos, they are quick examples. When it comes to actually an AI agent that's in production, it's a lot more complex because it needs to consistently output the right data. But this is a simplified version. So let's go ahead and create that from scratch. So first thing you got to do is create a new workflow. Once you've done that, add the first step, and we're going to use the on chat message. So this is when we can just essentially input the data ourselves into a nice, easy chatbot. You can add fields to it as well, like file uploads. If we wanted to add like some Google document or Word document with the meeting notes within there, so we can add file uploads as well. So we'll give that a tick. Now we're not going to use the file uploads, but this is just an example. From then, we're going to add the AI agent. And prompt user messages. This is coming from the chat message, so that's where it's getting its prompt user message. Let's get this out of the way and then add an option system message. So this is where we give the AI agent its role, tell it exactly what to do, to create a draft email, to summarize, to extract all the actionable points from the meeting notes, uh, how we want to structure the draft email. This is where you give the AI agent very specific instructions. So I've already created this. I'm going to copy and paste it from over here. Bear with me. Now, creating these prompts is a science within itself. So it would be good practice to learn more about prompt engineering. There's a lot of YouTube videos about that, how to get the best out of your AI agent. And to do that, you've got to create very specific prompts. An example of this is to tell it exactly what it is. So in this example, I'm telling it that it is an expert meeting productivity assistant for solo entrepreneurs and small teams. Another example is you want to give it a very specific example of how the draft email should look like. Subject, participants. This is how it looks like. Should be task 1, 2, 3, and it should add a due date as well. So this will teach the AI agent, okay, so when I get the meeting notes, this is how I've got to output it. Next, we're going to add the LLM, which is OpenAI. And again, in previous videos, I've told you guys how to create the account. You just go to OpenAI developer's website, create an account, add a little bit of credit. Credit's going to go a very, very long way. I've been using this for months. I've only added £5. It's still not finished, so it's going to last a very, very long time. And I use Chat GPT 4.1 Mini. So close that, and memory, we're going to use simple memory. Obviously in production, we would use more complex memory where it's storing in databases and it can store more larger context window length, so you can remember a much longer conversation than the simple memory. And then the tool, so in this example, we're going to get it to create a draft email, but we can use different productivity tools that will actually put like bullet points in terms of to-do list tasks. So there's a lot of tools that can be used, but for this example, we're going to keep it nice and basic and use Gmail. So change that resource to draft, create draft. So we're going to get AI to create the subject as well as the message. So that's all there is to it. Make sure to save it. So now let me minimize that, and then we're gonna create a. So I've got some sample meeting notes generated from Grok. So we're going to use that in our example. So I've copied some a sample notes that was generated from Grok, and then you're going to see the AI action, and then hopefully we will get our output as a draft email with the meeting notes, converted into actionable points, again, saving me a bunch of time, making me more productive without any effort. Okay, cool. So that's the input. Still thinking about it. And fingers crossed we will get our draft email. So let's go over there, over to my email account. Okay, so here is the output. Now, first output came out wrong. So I had to amend the input as there was some encoding in it that complicated it for the AI agent. So this was a second output that it produced. And again, this comes, back to obviously this being a test AI agent in production. You got to refine it so it produces the same output every time. Now, this is what it came out with. Nice key decisions and notes, action items, exactly how we want it, due date, priority, title, schedule, content, and it's beautiful. So imagine going, doing the meeting and you get obviously a bunch of action items within a bunch of meeting notes. And then the AI agent extracts all of that and gives you a nice, clear email that you can just send to everyone or that it sends to everyone, saving you a bunch of time, again, increasing your productivity and eventually revenue as well. So that'll be all for this video. Hopefully that helped. Do make sure to leave a comment and all that good stuff. See you later. Bye.